Alright children, now we are going to see some more about laws of motion. So we can see here what is that coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction. Here we are going to learn according to the first law of limiting friction. I know very well F is proportional to the force is proportional to the normal reaction. F is proportional to R. So constant of proportionality here I am taking F is equal to mu R. This F is equal to mu R, where mu is a constant of proportionality. Mu is called a constant of proportionality here. This is the force and this is the normal reaction R. Now, it is called coefficient of limiting friction between the two surfaces in contact. So I can write mu is equal to F by R here. So coefficient of limiting friction between any two surfaces is defined as the ratio of the force of limiting friction. It is the ratio of force of limiting friction. It is the force of limiting friction divided by normal reaction. Divided by normal reaction between them. Divided by normal reaction between them. It is clear? Write down this. The value of mu depends on the nature of the surface in contact. This mu depends nature of the surface in contact, whether it is dry or wet or rough or smooth. कैसा सरफेस है इस बात पर डिपेंड करेगा mu हमारा. So it is polished or non polished. Is it clear? For example, when the two polished metal surfaces are in contact, at that time mu is equal to only 0.2. When these surfaces are lubricated, and at that time mu is equal to 0.1 for lubricated. It is for lubricated. It is for polished metal surface. It is for polished metal surface. When these surfaces are lubricated, this one. When two smooth wooden surface, mu varies. When the wooden surface is there, then coefficient of friction is more, that is in between 0.2 to 0.5 for wooden surface. So obviously mu is a no unit, it is a ratio. So it is no unit. When a body is actually moving over the surface of another body, when the body is moving over the surface of another body, at that time the kinetic friction, we replace the force by Fk. When the body is moving, Fk is the kinetic friction and mu is replaced by mu k. So mu k is equal to Fk by R. This is the formula here. Mu k is called coefficient of kinetic or dynamic friction. Mu k is called coefficient of dynamic or kinetic friction. Always remember that Fk is less than to that of F. So mu k is always less than mu. Coefficient of kinetic or dynamic friction is always less than the coefficient of limiting friction. Is it clear? Write down. Now, my dear children, now I am going to explain here what is angle of friction. The next small article that I am going to explain, that is angle of friction. Angle of friction. Here it is the surface. First, here is the object, say O. The weight of the object is mg. The normal reaction here is weight. First, this is normal reaction that is represented by R. Now OP here, OP represents F, the limiting friction, limiting force of a sliding friction. So I can write here is F. When the body tends to move to the right, the body is moving. Suppose here is our body, and it is moving by applied force P. It is moving towards right. Complete the parallelogram O A C B. Here is C. Join OC. Here join OC. This represents the resultant of R and F. By definition, angle AOC is equal to theta. It is the angle of friction between the two bodies. It is the angle of friction between the two bodies in contact. Is that clear? To draw this figure. So the value of angle of friction depends on the nature of the material. This depends on nature of the material. This depends on the nature of the material. First, nature of the material of the surface in contact. Nature of the material of the surface in contact. Write down. And the nature of the material of the surface in contact, and the nature of the surface, and the nature of the surface, nature of the surface. Write down. So what is the relation in between coefficient of friction mu and theta? Here, in a triangle AOC, in a triangle AOC, see this figure AOC. What is tangent theta? We know very well tangent of theta is equal to perpendicular upon base. So we can say here tangent of theta, I can write here this is the perpendicular AC upon OA base. AC upon OA. This is AC upon OA. AC upon OA, AC is equal to OB. I can write here AC is equal to OB divided by OA. What is OB? OB is equal to F, and what is OA? It is equal to R. It is F upon R. This is tangent theta here. This is called coefficient of friction mu. So mu is equal to F upon R. So I can write here, children, mu is equal to tangent of theta. This is the relation. Is it clear? Yes, sir. So coefficient of limiting friction mu between any two surfaces in contact is equal to tangent of the angle of friction between them. This is. So angle of friction, write down the definition of angle of friction. The angle of friction between any two surfaces in contact is defined as the angle which the resultant of the force here, resultant of force of limiting friction F and normal reaction R, It is clear? So write down here, it is the angle between F and R match with the direction of direction of normal reaction R. Normal reaction R. Write down, this is the definition of angle of friction. This is the definition of angle of friction. Now, one more thing I want to clear here. What is angle of repose? Angle of repose dear children, I am going to explain angle of repose. Here, angle of repose और angle of sliding भी बोलते हैं इसको. SLIDING, angle of sliding. It is the minimum angle. It is the minimum angle. It is the minimum angle of inclination of a plane inclination of a plane with the horizontal such that a body placed on the plane such that the body placed on the plane just begins to slide, just begins to slide, just चलना शुरू करेगी, just begins to slide down the incline, down the incline here. Write down this. Here I am going to explain it depends. Dear children, if I draw a figure here for angle of repose, you can see here. Here is an inclined plane. Here. Suppose it is A, it is B, and it is C. Here is the object. Weight of the object is downward, that is mg. The normal reaction here is R. This normal reaction, maximum angle this weight is alpha. Here is the force F. Component of mg along this axis, that is mg cos alpha. Along this axis, that is mg sin alpha. The normal reaction are acting perpendicular to AB. You can see here. Weight mg downward. Force of friction F acting up the plane AB. You can see here. So mg can be resolved. Mg cos alpha, it is opposite to that of R, and mg sin alpha opposite to that of F. So write down here F is equal to mg sin alpha and R is equal to mg cos alpha. Here these two equations are coming here. F upon R, if you want to find out F upon R, that is tangent of alpha. So mu comes out to be, again what we are getting here. Here it is alpha. So mu is equal to tangent of alpha. The coefficient of limiting friction between any two surfaces in contact is equal to the tangent to the angle of repose between them. Earlier just we have to find out mu is equal to tangent theta. That is equal to tangent of alpha. Theta is equal to alpha. It is there. Angle of friction is equal to angle of repose. Angle of friction is equal to angle of repose. Motion. Uniform circular motion is the motion of an object. Uniform circular motion is the motion of an object traveling at a constant speed. Traveling at a constant speed. Along a circular path. It is clear? Once you can see a fan is moving in a circular path, an athletic is moving in a circular path. Suppose here, if we are taking, here is the center, here is the radius, and here a particle is moving, say starting point is P, here is O. A particle is moving in this path, in this track. So here towards the center a force is acting. Towards the center a force is acting. What is that force? We are going to learn. Is it clear? Now, when a body moves in a circle, the direction of motion at any instant is along the tangent. Say like this here. It is along the tangent in this manner. Speed is constant, but direction changes continuously. So I can say velocity is not constant. So my dear children, I can say in a circular motion, the direction of motion at any instant is along the tangent to the circle at that instant. So we find that the direction of motion of the body moving in a circle goes on changing continuously. Direction of motion is changing continuously. We can say here. It means velocity is changing. So according to the Newton's first law of motion, what I can say, a body cannot change its direction of motion by itself. Direction of motion, it cannot change itself. Definitely an external force is required to change the direction of the body. The external force is required for this purpose. It is this external force. Here we are going to explain, that is centripetal force. That is centripetal force. What is that? A centripetal force, look at here. Here is the force which acts. Here is the force which acts here. F. It is the force required to move the body uniformly in a circle. It is the force required for a body to move in a circle. This is the force required here. It is clear? I can say this force acts along the radius. This force acts along the radius. This force acts along the radius. You can say this is the radius here. So this force acts along the radius and towards the center of the circle. And towards the center of a circle. It is clear? Write down this definition. What is centripetal force here? So I can say, dear children, it is the force towards the center. So I can say, dear children, on account of continuous change in the direction of motion of the body, you are seeing here every time the direction of the motion changes. So there is change in the velocity of the body. When the direction of the body changes, speed is constant. So I can say velocity goes on changing continuously. As it undergoes an acceleration, and that acceleration acts here is called centripetal acceleration. Is called centripetal acceleration. It is clear that we are going to find out. And that acceleration A, in unit second, we have already obtained an expression of centripetal acceleration, that is A is equal to V square by R. A is equal to V square by R, or we know very well, so V is equal to R omega. If I write here R square omega square by R, so that is omega square R. Or I can write here R and omega is equal to 2 pi n the whole square. So this is the, I can say here, this is the centripetal acceleration here. Now, where V is the linear velocity, here you can say this V is the linear velocity, omega is the angular velocity. V is the linear velocity of an object, omega is the angular velocity of an object, and R is the radius of a circle, and N is the frequency of revolution. This N is equal to frequency of the revolution. So I know the formula of force, that is mass into acceleration. So centripetal force is equal to mass into centripetal acceleration. So I can write here F is equal to M into A is equal to V square by R. V square by R. So that I can write M R omega square. Or I can write here omega is equal to 2 pi n. So I can write here 4 pi square M R n square. M R n square. This is the formula for the force. Write down. Now, we are going to find out one small article. This formula we have to use. So, the centripetal acceleration or centripetal force, that is mv square by r. Now, I am going to find out rounding a level curved rule. Rounding a level curved rule. Curved road. C here is the road on which our vehicle is moving. Suppose here is our car. The weight of a car is acting vertically downward, that is mg. The normal reaction force x over here is r. Suppose this is a circle. So the force acting over here is F. So when a vehicle goes on a round a curved road, when a vehicle goes round a curved road like this, then what happens? It requires some centripetal force. It requires some centripetal force. While rounding the curve, the wheels, here is the wheels. The wheels of the vehicle have a tendency to leave the curved path. जरा ऊपर उठेंगे, to leave the curved path and regain the straight line path. So force of friction between the wheels and the road opposes the tendency of the wheels, and provides the necessary centrifugal force that we are going to see. Now, draw the figure. The force acting over here is weight mg of the car acting vertically downward. Weight mg of the car acting vertically downward. The normal reaction R of the road on the car acting vertically upwards. Normal reaction R acting vertically upwards. Frictional force F. F is the frictional force here. F is the frictional force acting on the surface of the road towards the center of the turn. Here is the center of the turn. So as there is no acceleration, in the vertical direction, so I can write here children here R is equal to mg. So the centrifugal force required for the circular motion is along the surface of the road. That is along the surface of the road toward the center of the turn. So it is the force of friction that provides the necessary centrifugal force, that is mv square by r is less than or equal to F. This provides the necessary centrifugal force. V is the velocity of the car. While turning, and R is the radius. इस सर्कल का रेडियस R मान लेंगे हम. So I can write here F is equal to mu R here. That F is equal to mu R or R is equal to mg. So you can write here mu mg. See this. So this is the force here. Mu is the coefficient of static friction between the tires and the road. So this mv square by r is less than or equal to mu mg. M से हम कर दिया v is less than or equal to under root of mu rg. This is the relation. This is the maximum velocity here. This v max is equal to under root of mu rg. Hence the maximum velocity with which a vehicle can go round a level road without skidding. This is the maximum velocity here. The value of v depends on the radius r of the circuit and on coefficient of friction between the tires and the road. Is that clear? Write down.